Welcome. You with the nasty fast, and I'm back this week with another chapter read from out of Leviticus. You know, for those of you that don't even see yourself as a priest, for those of you that don't even see yourself as having a testimony because you are just beginning life, you feel that, you still a baby in life. Yes, you have a testimony. You feel what I'm saying? You have something to say. You have something to help your peers understand you, understand the trials and tribulations you have been through at this certain point of time in your life. Some people don't go through what you go through. Some people may not go through what you're going through until they're in their 50s and their 60s. You get it? You understand? We all go through something, but there's a certain time in our life that we go through it, and we must pay attention to the signs that are presented to us. I've spoke of this before, but one thing I loved about my cousin that has passed, Andre Shelton, he explained something to me one day. He said, I don't have to go through it to get it. I can listen to or see what a decision has done to someone negatively, negative. You get what I'm saying? There was no success in the decision they made, and I know not to even cross that bridge because it's not set up for anyone to win. And it made a lot of sense to me. And this was the process of him getting to me to understand, slow down the way you think. When you're in your issues, you know what I mean? Slow it down. Look here, look there, look there. Process it, process all three outcomes and see where you're going to win at. And then it took me back to, my mom. You know what I mean? My mom is big on telling me, get out the problem, get in the solution. So to have them two in my ear, guiding me was a blessing for real, a real blessing, because I was very impulsive in my thinkings, and who I was then is not who I am today. You get what I'm saying? Not who I am today. I have, in my journeys, in my people guiding me, I've lost my self-control. You got what I'm saying? I ain't gonna BS you about that. I've lost my self-control. I've lost my self-control when they have given me every understanding of life that they could have given me, and I've processed it and understood it. You get what I'm saying? I've still lost my self-control. But at this point in time in my life, being 55 years old, I don't want to ever lose my self-control. I don't want to ever do something without thinking first. Nothing. There's nothing I want to do without thinking first. So when I say what I say, I do what I do, I've thought about it first, and I'm comfortable in making a decision I'm making. Let's get into this chapter read of Leviticus. And we are on chapter 8. The title is Aaron and his sons consecrated. Do we know what consecrated means? Let's take a short, brief look on Google and get the definition of consecrated. It's an adjective, having been made or declared sacred. Another one, make or declare sacred, dedicate formally to a religious or divine purpose. You get it? That's like being anointed, to be honest with you. That's like really taking something into your life and following the steps and the laws of this higher power. Let's not waste no more time and get into this reading. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the garments, the atonement, anointing oil, a bull as the sin offering, 2 rams and a basket of unleavened bread, and gather all the congregation together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him, and the congregation was gathered together at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. And Moses said to the congregation, This is what the Lord commanded to be done. Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons and washed them with water. And he put the tunic on him, girded him with the sash, clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod on him. And he girded him with the intricately woven band of the ephod, and with it tied the ephod on him. Then he put the breastplate on him, and he put the urim and the thummim in the breastplate. And he put the turban on his head, also on the turban. On his front he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Also Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and all that was in it, and consecrated them. He sprinkled some of it on the altar 7 times, anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, to consecrate them. And he poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed him, to consecrate him. Then Moses brought Aaron's sons and put tunics on them, girded them with sashes, and put hats on them as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he brought the bull for the sin offering. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the bull for the sin offering, and Moses killed it. Then he took the blood and put some on the horns of the altar all around with his finger, and purified the altar. And he poured the blood at the base of the altar and consecrated it, to make atonement for it. Then he took all the fat that was on the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses burned them on the altar. But the bull, its hide, its flesh, and its offal he burned with fire outside the camp, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Now it sounds like the process is almost the same, right? You taking the fat, putting it on the altar. You know, you're taking the blood, you're putting it at the base, you're putting it on the sides, the wings, and all that. It's really the same process for, you know, your worshiping, your I guess we would say dedication, your steps to giving thanks to whom you pray to. You know, let's roll. Then he brought the ram as the burnt offering. We're in the right spot. Then he brought the ram as the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it. Then he sprinkled the blood all around on the altar, and he laid their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it. Then he sprinkled the blood all around on the altar, and he cut the ram into pieces, and Moses burnt the head, the pieces, and the fat. Then he washed the entrails and the legs in water, and Moses burnt the whole ram on the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet aroma, an offering made by fire to the Lord, as the Lord had commanded Moses. And he brought the second ram, the ram of consecration. Then Aaron and his sons laid their hands on his head of the ram, and Moses killed it. Also he took some of its blood and put it on the tip of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Then he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. Everything go on the right side of the body. Excuse me. Then he brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. And Moses sprinkled the blood all around on the altar. Then he took the fat and the fat top and the fat tail, all the fat that was on the entrails, the fatty lobe attached to the liver, the two kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And from the basket of unleavened bread that was before the Lord, he took one unleavened cake, a cake of bread anointed with oil, and the wafer, and put them on the fat and water on the right thigh. And he poured all these in Aaron's hands and in his son's hands, and waved them as a wave offering before the Lord. Then Moses took them from their hands and burned them on the altar, on the burnt, on the burnt offering. They were consecration offerings for the sweet aroma. That was an offering made by fire to the Lord. And Moses took the breast and weaved it as the wave offering before the Lord. It was Moses' part of the ram of consecration, as the Lord had commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood which was on the altar, and sprinkled it on Aaron, on his garments, on his sons with him, and he consecrated Aaron. His garments. I apologize for the yawning. We almost through, and I'm gonna do like I did in yesterday recorded reading. I'm gonna lay down and then get back at the last two of my readings. On his garments, on his sons, and on the garments of his sons with him, and he consecrated Aaron, his garments, his sons, and the garments of his sons with him. And Moses said to Aaron and his sons, boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and eat it there with the bread that is in the basket of consecration, offering as I commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. What remains of the flesh and of the bread you shall burn with fire, and you shall not go on outside the door of the tabernacle of meeting for 7 days until the days of your consecration are ended, for a season. Excuse me. I dozed off for a minute on you. Let me get the last stuff done and stop thinking ahead. Days he shall consecrate you, as he has done this day, so the Lord has commanded to do, to make atonement for you. Therefore you shall stay at the door of the tabernacle of meeting day and night for 7 days, and keep the charge of the Lord, so that you may not die. For so I have been commanded. So Aaron and his sons did all the things that the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses. Once again, I apologize for these little dozing off steps, man. But if you're in America and you're viewing this, you know there are things being put into our food. I can't say it's the drinking water, but I do know that I ate before I started this reading, and I just woke up. Took a shower. For those of you that are viewing, you probably already know I didn't masturbate. You get what I'm saying? So just understand, America is under attack. Understand that some of this is allowed because of the the population of being disabled. You know, if there's a way to keep a disabled person asleep, they're going to allow it. You feel what I'm saying? Being disabled and using your disability as a action of negative movement, this is why America is the way today. But to get back into Leviticus, you know, Moses forged something so great and powerful that it has lasted through all tests of times. You feel me? And these laws can be looked at not just as a priest, but as a citizen within the Jewish culture. You feel me? A citizen within the Islam culture, a citizen within the Kimite culture, a citizen, period, that is looking for some type of structuring in their life from religion, from spirituality. Keep reading, keep processing, and keep reflecting on the mistakes you have made, so that when those choices you need to make again are presented to you, you can identify the presentation of the same tribulations you did not come out successful in. Anywho, in the way you've been with the nasty pastor, I'm out, and I catch you next week.